Hi soulmate. You're welcome back again to this YouTube channel. If you're new here, you're highly welcome. Please do well to hit the subscribe button and also click on the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I drop a new video. In this video, we will be diving into fashion illustration, learning how to draw a basic croquis and creating your own design. Also, how to use and draw a mannequin to create your own design as well. This video is a very detailed video and easy to understand, and make sure you practice because, like I always say, practice makes perfect. So without wasting much time, let's dive right into it. So these are the items needed. You'll be needing your tape roll, an eraser, a pen, a sharpener, and a long rule, and also your sketching book or drawing book, and also your crayons, although this is very optional, but it depends on you. But nonetheless, these are the items you'll be needing. So before we proceed, I know you might have been seeing fashion illustration on some training flyers and you might wonder what it is. So it will be important to know that every fashion design begins with an illustration. In plain words, there are some styles or design you see and you wonder how it came about. Well, someone thought of the idea. That is, the idea came out of someone who sketched it out, made it a reality, and boom, it became something everyone loves to own. So this explains the fact that fashion illustration is simply the process of transferring a fashion idea into a creative design through diagrams and drawings. And also we have various styles of fashion illustration. So in this video, we're going to deal with the ones that we can easily sketch out or draw out when need be. So I hope this brief explanation gives you a detailed understanding of, what fashion illustration means. So I'll start off by getting a clean empty page of my sketchbook, and I'm going to mark out points or lines which are 1 inch apart. So I'll be using my rules to point out the 1 inch apart like this. You can see the way I'm doing it. So each line has 1 inch space in between. I hope you do get. So I'll just go ahead and rule my line like so, since I already marked out the 1 inch space. I hope you do understand. Mind you, I am drafting the 9-head croquis. So croquis ranges from 8 to 11 heads. I will explain later about the heads idea, but just know that the more the heads, the more taller your croquis would be. So I always love drawing a 9-head croquis because I am okay with its height. Yes. So if you want your croquis or your sketch longer, you can increase the number of heads you can get to increase the number of heads rather. So that's just the little tip. So for this, we are working with I am working with a 9-head croquis. So now that this is done, okay, I didn't get to outline this beginning the line, so I'll get to do that now. So please just watch closely what I am doing. So now that this is done, I am just going to number the lines. So this is not line 1, line 2, line 3. So I'll just number it till I get to the last line. Now this is very important because it serves as a guide when it comes to sketching out your croquis. It is very important. It's going to help you. So you have to do this part. Yes, you actually have to. And this is line 10. So now that this is done, now I'm going to explain to you how the number of heads came about. So on each space contains an head or a head. So we're just going to draw heads on each space. Just draw one head on each space like this. So you can see what I am doing right now. So you can see what I am doing. So in between each line, you draw your number of heads. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So since it's 9 heads here, it simply means this is a 9-head croquis. So that is just how the whole idea came about. Now I'm going to find the midpoint of my sketchbook. So I'll simply just find how wide my sketchbook is like this. Then fold over my tape like so to this point. to get the midpoint, that is the middle of the sketchbook. And then I'm going to, indicate it on the sketchbook after getting it. That is after finding out the midpoint. I'll just go over and indicate it like this on several lines, on different lines. So now that this is done, I'll bring in my rule and just draw a faint straight line like this. So this line is very important when it comes to sketching. It's more of like a major guide. Moving on, it's time to draw the head of the croquis. So this first head is going to contain the head. So you go ahead and draw a nice square or circle, whichever you can. After the head, we have the neck. So on the second space, you're going to mark 1/3, which is 0.3 on your tape. So this is going to be for how long the neck is going to be. So you go ahead and draw two opposite curves like this that has 0.3 inches long, or 1/3 of this space. Now, after the neck of a life model or human, we have the shoulders. So a half of this second space is where the shoulders are seated or is seated. So I'll go ahead and bring in my tape rule and mark half of my tape on the second space like this. So this is where the shoulder is going to be seated. For this sketching, I want the shoulders to be 1.5 inches wide. So in order to get equal shoulders on both sides of this line, I'll go ahead and find the midpoint of 1.5 inches. So the midpoint of 1.5 inches is 0.75. That is 1.5 divided by 2 gives you 0.75. So meaning I'll be marking 0.75 on the right side of the line and also on the left side of the line like this. So 0.75 on this side. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark it out now on this point like this, and 0.75 on the other side like this, making it 1.5 inches wide. And as you can see, it is at half of this second space. That is a half of the second space. So you go ahead and extend the neck to this point like this. Now that this is done, I'm just going to shade it further like so. I'm just going to put arrows like this, to draw arrows like this to make this more clearer and understanding. So a half of this space, the second space, is where the shoulder is seated. So a half is 0.5 or half an inch on your tape, and the shoulder I made use of is 1.5 inches wide. Moving on, it's time to draw out a sketch for the breast. Now on line 3, I am going to mark out how wide I want the breast to be. So for the breast, I want it to be 1 inch wide. So I am going to divide the 1 inch into 2 and put half of it on this side of the line and the other half on the other side of the line like this. And I'll bring in my rule to draw out slanted lines that are going inward towards the fainted line. So now that this is done, the next step is to go ahead and sketch out the hips of this croquis. Now for the hips, I want the hips of this croquis to be 1.3 inches wide, 1.3 inches wide. So I'll just go ahead and find the midpoint of 1.3 on my tape, or I can simply divide 1.3 by 2 and mark out whatever I get on both sides of the fainted lines. So after getting half of 1.3, I'll go ahead and indicate it on both sides of this fainted lines like this. Now the hips is seated at 1/3 of this fourth space where the fourth head is located. So now that this is done, I will extend the waist to meet up with this hips wideness, and I'm just going to slant this inward like this towards the fainted lines, and I'll make sure it's very close to the fainted lines, just few centimeters away. So 1/3 of this fourth space where the fourth head is located is where you find the hips. So I'll just go ahead and write it out like this, and the hips for this croquis is 1.3 inches wide. Moving on, it's time to sketch out the legs. So for that, just go ahead and just run few sketches straight down like this. So just sketch down till you get to line 7 where the knee is going to be. You do same for the other pair of the leg as well. So you can determine how wide or how close you want the legs to be by your placement of nails. So if you want the legs to be closer, you get to put the knees closer together. In summary, the position of the legs is determined by how the knees are being positioned. So I'll just go ahead and keep extending this line till I get to line 9 where the ears are going to be. I'll keep sketching the free lines, but just that this time around, this part of the legs are a little bit tinier. At this point, it's time to sketch out the feet. So just go ahead and extend lines like these from the heels to draw out the feet, which will obviously stop at line 10. Now that this is done, the next step to take is to draw out the arm or sketch out the arm. So for the arm, all I have to do is I am going to extend the shoulders downward using a straight line, and I'm going to stop at line 4 where the elbow is going to be. So I'll just draw lines like this. So this is where the elbow is going to be, and I'll keep coming further down like this to draw out the hand. So just go ahead and draw out the hand like this. Just curve it down a little like so, curve it in and like this. So this hand is ready, so I'll go ahead and draw the other arm by extending the shoulders down like this, then drawing out another line like this from the apex or the breast point, which is line 3, and the elbow is at line 4, and I'll keep extending till I get to line 5 where the wrist is going to be, and then I'll draw out my hand. Oh, I said my hand. I'll draw out the hand, which sits at 2/3 of where the 5th head is located. So you just draw a curve like this inward and go like this. That's just it. So when you practice over time, you become good at it. So I'll just go ahead and draw curves like this to indicate the breast. So this is it, guys. Now that this is done, I'm just going to flesh this up. That is, add more flesh to the sketching by just using my pen to shade it more. You can use a marker pen, a biro, a crayon, whichever you have, but I'm going to use a pen just to flesh it up so that the line will become more obvious. Like I earlier stated, if you want a taller croquis that is taller than this 9 heads, all you have to do is to increase the number of heads. So let's say you want a croquis that is taller than what we have here right now, which is the 9 heads. You can go ahead and increase it to 10 heads or 11 heads. It all depends on your preferences on what you want. There's even a croquis that is shorter than the 9 heads, which is the 8 heads croquis. So I think the croquis ranges from the 8 to 11 heads. So that is just the simple logic why it is called heads. So I'm still fleshing up this croquis, and this is the part I love doing the most because it makes the croquis look more realistic. So I'll just keep fleshing this up, and voila, I am done fleshing it up. So I'm just going to indicate the part I have not. So line 4 is where the waist and the elbow is located. Then 2/3 of this 5th space is where the hand is. Then line 7 is where the knees are seated or located. Then 2/3 is 0.6 on your tape rule. So I'm just going to highlight the words more so it's more obvious, so it becomes more obvious. So I hope you can see this. So this is just a recap of everything, where they're located and everything you need to know about the placement of the parts of this croquis. Not to confuse you, I would love to, place this ease and fit correctly so it's easier for you. So this space is where the feet is, that is where the 9 head is. Then on the line 9 is where the ease is seated. So in case you want to draw out a design, just go ahead and draw out a design. So right now, this is the design that I thought about or thought of. And I'm just sketching it, what's in my head right now. So I'm just sketching it out like this. And whenever an idea comes to your head, instead of imagining how it's going to look like, if it's going to make sense or if it's going to look good, it's best you just, sketch it out, draw it out, and, get to see how it's going to look like after sketching it out. That way you get to make your decision. And trust me, no fashion idea is a waste. So get to learn how to sketch your ideas out the more. And most times your customer might just need a style, a unique style. And you might just be the one to come to their rescue. So, or you might even be the next big fashion brand or designer because of how would I put it? Because of the design you created, which is making wave or would make waves. So sketch out your fashion ideas more often. So you can go ahead and use your crayons to, paint the dress, color it up. It's optional. Except you want to make it look colorful like me, you can go ahead and use your crayon. If not, you can just leave it like that without making use of the crayon to paint the dress and the skin of the croquis up. So this is just me trying to spice up this, sketching. So now that I'm done with it, this is what we have. So this is the dress that came to my mind while I was doing this. So go ahead and, practice, and trust me, practice makes perfect. And with a lot of practice, you should be able to draw your croquis in less than a minute. So guys, this is it. The croquis is ready. So we'll move on to the other part. So there are days or there are times whereby you are not in the mood to start sketching out a croquis. Like it takes your time and all of that. No problem. All you can do is you can easily just, carry out a few sketches of a mannequin, which you can also use in, sketching out your fashion idea, whatever dress you have in mind, whatever design you have in mind. So for sketching out a mannequin, all you have to do is to draw two curves like this, then draw, should I say, more of like a triangle. So let me zoom this in so you see. So you just go ahead and sketch like this, then sketch it out like this, and just draw a line like this, and then draw a straight line or sketch a straight line like this. So I'm going to zoom it back in, sketch a straight line like this, and I love curving this part, which is the mannequin stand. So you just go ahead and do this and curl this up. It's optional though. I just love spicing my things up. So now you just go ahead and flesh this up. Draw a circle at the top of this. Then go ahead and flesh the other part up. Then curve here in. You just go ahead and start curving the edges. You curve the edges like this. So I'm just going to use my eraser to make it neater like this. Then you keep curving the sharp parts, the sharp edges like this. So you can see sketching out a mannequin is way more faster and easier than sketching a croquis. And I would love to know, which would you prefer between the croquis or the mannequin when it comes to sketching out your fashion ideas? So let me know in the comment section. So this is it, guys. Yeah, So I'm just going to sketch out the idea, the fashion idea I have in my head right now. Just going to sketch it out. And if you enjoyed this video and if this video was helpful to you, please do well to hit the subscribe button and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. So this is me sketching out my fashion idea, what I have in mind. So this is for the purpose of this video. So I am just trying to create something nice, sketch out something nice. I'm still thinking while sketching out. And go ahead and practice, because as you know it, practice makes perfect. So we've come towards the end of this video. So love ya and see you on my next video. Ciao.